What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, while the title on this video may sound crazy, I assure you it's not. This is actually the second time this has officially come up, and in the last year since Bob Iger returned to his post as CEO at Walt Disney Company. Breaking late yesterday from Walt Disney Worldwide News Today, CEO Bob Iger considering selling streaming services and other assets, may even try to sell the entire Disney company. And to whom? Glad you asked. Small Screen followed up today with a headline breaking in the last hour. Bob Iger reportedly wants to sell Disney to Apple. We're going to break down exactly what they're saying in these articles, rather what Bob Iger has said recently about it, try to contextualize it a little bit and explain why they would even look to do this, and of course ultimately what this means for Marvel Studios in the grand scheme of things if Disney were to actually be sold. We're breaking it all down, Bob Iger's ultimate plan for Walt Disney Company and why that may include passing it to somebody else's hands. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews to the occasional industry insider report and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. The next one is just a week away to coincide with the finale of Secret Invasion. Again, all you got to do, be a sub, leave a comment on this video if you want, stick around to the end of the video, we get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so let's start with yesterday's breaking article. CEO Bob Iger considering selling streaming services and other assets, may even try to sell the entire company, where they go on to report, quote, the Walt Disney Company CEO Bob Iger is looking to sell some of the company's TV and streaming assets and may even be considering selling the whole company. Bloomberg reported on the potential sales, referencing a recent Iger interview. The interview conducted by David Farber was held at a media conference in Sun Valley, Idaho, and Iger's comments about the writers and the actors strike have gone viral. But during the interview, he also agreed to Farber that ABC and its local stations, including FX and Freeform, may not be core, quote unquote, to the Walt Disney Company, meaning that their theme parks, their extended entertainment, shouldn't and does not include stuff like ABC and FX. That is exactly what he's saying. Quote, we have to be open-minded and objective about the future of those businesses. Bloomberg notes with cable TV on the decline, Iger wants to sell most of Disney's TV assets, mainly ABC, Freeform, and FX. They then go on to note that Disney streaming services have been losing money and subscribers, that Disney Plus lost 4 million subscribers last quarter alone, and that streaming is expected to have hit a total loss of $800 million by the third quarter. According to Bloomberg, Iger wants to completely sell or restructure Disney's TV and streaming business in India. This is actually where Disney Plus has been taking the biggest losses. Disney Hotstar, the region's version of Disney Plus over there, lost all the streaming rights to the Premier League of Cricket, and which led to them losing 3.8 million subscribers one quarter and then 4.6 the next. Iger does plan to hold on to Hulu, and Disney will actually launch a combined app for Hulu and Disney Plus later this year. But that's where things get super complicated, because Hulu and Disney Plus combined are already going to reach $1 billion in losses this year. It can't justify its contractual obligation next year in 2024. Disney has to buy out Comcast's 33% stake in Hulu. That is going to be very expensive, and that's where Bob Iger is looking to trim this whole thing down. Now, while this article quickly notes that they could sell some of those TV networks like ABC to huge private investment firms, that Apple has been in the rumor mill since last November, when Bob Iger originally returned, that he could sell the entire Disney conglomerate to the giant tech company, considering Apple would be one of the few companies on the face of the earth that could actually pull that off. Now, this rumor again has been circling like a vulture since Iger returned late last year. But you may be asking yourself at this point, why would Iger or anybody want to sell Walt Disney Company? Yeah, they're losing a little money in network television and streaming, but surely the rest of the company is profitable, right? Well, not so fast. Yeah, you have huge entertainment divisions like Marvel Studios, Star Wars, Lucasfilm. You also have their theme parks, which, if you ask any Disney CEO, is going to say is one of the lifebloods of the company. But something like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania that took a couple $100 million to make and another $100 million in promotion, after the theaters took their half cut of the box office, actually saw that film barely breaking even, or perhaps even losing money by tens of millions or a fraction of the overall budget for the film. That being said, companies don't exist to break even or to lose a little money. They exist to make money, and unfortunately, under Bob Chapek's leadership and diving in headfirst to the shallow pool that was Disney Plus, they've put themselves in a really difficult financial situation. Now, what would this actually mean if Apple were to buy Disney? Well, as far as the small screen sees it, quote, would undoubtedly have significant implications for both companies and the entertainment industry as a whole. For Disney, being owned by Apple could provide the resources and technological expertise to further expand the content and reach. For Apple, acquiring Disney could significantly boost its streaming service, Apple Plus, which basically no one has and has struggled to compete with the likes of Netflix and Amazon Prime. Disney's extensive library, of course, includes franchises like Star Wars, Marvel, Pixar, and could potentially attract a significant number of new subscribers to Apple Plus. Basically, they combine their forces. There's a lot of tech and resources over at Apple. There's already a lot of content in the catalog at Disney. Put those two together, seems like a recipe for success, right? Well, there's an old saying, you bring yourself with you wherever you go, meaning you might go somewhere else to a different location to try to change what's going on, but ultimately, you'll still be in your own company. And I think the same applies here. No matter who Disney sells their content or their catalog to, no matter who's in charge, they've got to make the right decisions with the content and then make good content. At the end of the day, if you put out a bad product, it is not going to be good. You guys know I've been pressing the music industry for the better part of I don't know how long, and at the end of the day, no matter how much promotion and marketing I put into a song, no one sits with people in their cars and at their houses when they open up Spotify and make sure that they play my song. That's got to be a decision on their own, the same way that we've got to decide to rewatch Marvel content. And I'll tell you guys, whenever I'm in the mood to watch something Marvel, I usually am not turning on anything post-Infinity Saga, and that says a lot about the content they've been putting out. So again, what I'm trying to say is I think it gets easy to maybe fall into this lullaby of, hey, you know what? It's going to be great. Apple's going to come in with all this money and tech. They're going to take care of Marvel Studios. If they buy Disney, it'll be new blood. It's exactly what Marvel Studios might need. At the end of the day, if they don't start bringing in better writers and figuring out better content to put out, their streaming service will never be successful on the back of that. And there may be intrinsic problems with streaming in the first place. There might also be intrinsic problems with their box office model of spending this much on movies in the face of how much they can make back. There are other things at play here, but it all starts with really good content, because the hype needs to be there when we get to Avengers 5 and 6 in order for them to capitalize monetarily the way they want to, and they don't get there by spending money. So Apple coming in with a bunch of cash and a bunch of tech and even new blood won't mean anything if they don't address the problems that are underlying with the content itself. And I don't care who owns the company, you don't bring in better writers and write better stories, no one is going to care. One final thought I want to leave you with, though, from Bob Iger's standpoint, a lot of people call him quote-unquote Bob the Builder jokingly, because he was the one who went out and spent money to bring in Marvel, to bring in Star Wars and try to build the company. But the true American dream is not to build a company or even own a company. The true American dream has been said to sell a company. And what I will say is, if that Bob Iger can be the architect of the sale of Walt Disney Company to Apple, he stands to make so much money off that sale. For any other reason you could think of inherently good with the company, Bob Iger was brought back out of retirement to see this in a temporary stint. They've extended his contract to 2026. If he can sell Disney in the next 3 years to someone like Apple, he will make so much money, it is insane. And so from his standpoint alone, for the company that he might see that he's built over the last decade or so, this might be the reason he's come back now and wants to sell, so he can basically cash out. Now keep in mind, for everything said in this video, being able to sell just a TV network is hard enough, let alone actually selling the entirety of Disney Corporation, which is a huge conglomerate. There are so many antitrust laws, things that need to get approved in the government, moving pieces to this, the financing alone. You could have a deal be in the works for over a year and still fall apart with the number of moving pieces that are involved. So rest assured, there won't be a headline coming and tomorrow that says Disney has been sold to Apple. But if that day were to come somewhere down the road, what it ultimately means for Disney, yeah, maybe it could be a great thing. But if the people who are in charge make bad content, it doesn't matter where Disney goes or who Marvel Studios is under, it's not going to change anything, and they're going to continue to see struggling box office numbers and struggling streaming numbers if the stuff they put out is crap. Guys, let me know which way you see this down in the comments, and if you care at all, if you agree with me that it really doesn't matter who's in control as long as they make good movies and good stories. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I think less Disney Plus shows is going to happen regardless whether they sell or not, is going to be better for the brand and bring back some of the scarcity that helps drive some of the interest in the first place. Again, let me know all your thoughts down below. As always, I'm all ears. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we're still giving away PlayStation 5s here at the channel. Instead of major subscriber milestones, though, we're going to do it to coincide with the release of Marvel movies and the finales of Disney Plus shows, which there happens to be one just a week away next week with the finale of Secret Invasion. If you want to be entered to win that PlayStation or for any of the other giveaways here at the channel, all the same rules will always apply. Hit the subscribe button because you need to be a subscriber, then leave a comment down below. Because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you liked today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at I'mFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, under the name Allfires. And while I sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around, we'll be posting again real soon.